Assalamualaikum, my name is Accl. Today my topic is from basic need to culture icon. Hello, madam.
Hi there. Nice to finally hear your voice. What's your name?
What is our basic need?
I'm not sure what you mean by our basic move.
What is our basic
Could you?
need?
Mm, that's a good question. I think everyone has basic needs: connection, feeling understood, being seen for who they are. What about you? What's a basic need for you right now?
What does
What is
culture?
what? Could you
What
thought?
does
I
culture icon
I
mean?
think hold on, looking into that now. A few iconic Pulitzer winning photos that come to mind are Joe Rosenthal's raising the flag on Iwo Jima and Slava Vader's burst of joy. There's also that really striking photo by Eddie Adams from the Vietnam War. The word's been around since 1942 for photos that really capture powerful stories.
Give an example of a
Again,
basic need.
um, not sure what you mean by that. Are you looking for an example of something else? The
Give
word victim
give an
feels
example.
pretty heavy.
Give an example of a basic need.
Okay, got it. For basic needs, like I mentioned before, connection. A simple example is when you feel seen, when someone really listens to you instead of just waiting for their turn to talk, or having a sense of belonging when you're around people who get you. Does that make sense?
Is clothing a basic need?
Hmm. Floating, basically. What are you thinking of when you say that? It sounds like something's on your mind, but isn't quite solid yet.
Is clothing basic need?
Hmm. I'm not sure I caught that. What were you trying to say there?
Is clothing basic need?
Uh, Missing name. Are you thinking about something you've lost track of, or maybe something that needs labeling?
Is clothing is basic need?
Is my thing basically what? You trailed off there.
Is clothes a basic need?
I think you said this loads are basically. Not sure I'm following what you mean by that. What are you trying to tell me about this load
Is
or whatever it is?
is clothing a
Clothing,
basic
clothing.
need?
The closing a basic need? Are you talking or what you were going to finish that thought with?
What
What is
is food a basic need?
I'm not sure what you said there. Could you try that again?
Is food
Something about
a
sign
is food
I didn't
food
catch that.
a basic need?
You that again? Could?
Is food a basic
I didn't
need?
catch I don't understand what you said. Could you say that again?
Is
It sounded
food
like you were talking about something being so you meant is cool?
is
Like it's
food
cool?
food FWD food
Apper
is food a basic need?
I think you're saying food is a basic need. Yeah, absolutely. We all need food to survive and thrive. It's pretty foundational.
How do basic need change over time?
It's a really interesting question. Basic needs definitely shape how we spend our time. Like if you're focused on making sure you have enough food, that takes up your energy and time. Or if you're trying to find safe housing, that can feel all consuming. When those basics are covered, though, it frees up time for other things, hobbies, relationships, pursuing goals. Does that make sense? Still there?
What? How
Just checking in.
do
Noticed you
basic?
went quiet for a bit.
How do
To
basic?
basic, what were you gonna add? They hate like it. I
How do
Oh yeah, I wasn't following
how
the
can
thought there.
simple things become important in our society?
It's a great question. I think simple things become important when they solve a problem a lot of people have. Like clean water sounds simple, but when most people don't have reliable access, it becomes really important. Or reliable communication, just being able to reach people when you need them. And sometimes the most basic things become deeply valued because everyone benefits from them. What made you think about this?
Basic need is formal, informal.
Basic needs are formal and informal? I think I'm missing something. Are you thinking about how they work in different situations? Like having food is just basic for everyone, but expressing those needs quite can be formal or casual depending on where you are.
Basic need is formal, informal.
I'm having trouble understanding what you're trying to say. Could you try
Basic need,
rephrasing that?
basic need is formal, informal.
Okay, basic needs like food, shelter, that part is pretty universal no matter if
Basic
you're at
need
work or
is
just at home.
formal, informal.
You mean like formal and informal ways of meeting basic needs? Like eating a proper meal at home versus grabbing something quick when you're busy, or finding steady income versus doing odd jobs?
Why basic need is important in our daily life?
Because if those basic needs aren't met, food, shelter, safety, then everything else falls apart. Hard to focus on school, hard to build relationships, hard to even think about your future when you're just trying to figure out where your next meal's coming from or a safe place to sleep. They're the foundation for everything else to work.
Basic need is important in our daily life.
Exactly. Without those needs met, food, water, shelter, it's really tough to think about anything else.
Is
Take your
shelter
time.
is shelter a basic need?
Yes, shelter is absolutely a basic need. Having a safe, stable place to live is so important for everything else. It impacts your health, your well being, even your ability to focus and learn. Make sense?
Can house show culture?
I didn't quite catch that. Something about can house show culture. Could you say that again?
Can house show culture?
I didn't. Ooh, interesting question. Yeah, absolutely. The type of house someone lives in can show a lot about their culture, what traditions they value, how they live. It's like houses can reflect where people come from and what's important to them. I'm here.
What makes something a
Just
culture
what made
icon?
something of? Looking that up for you
Cul-
now.
What makes something a culture icon?
Just info about what makes something a cultural icon.
Yes.
It might take a sec. So, basically, cultural icons are things, people, symbols, objects that really represent a shared culture's values or history. They're instantly recognizable and people often have a strong connection to them. Plus, they tend to stick around and stay relevant over time. Does that make sense? Like Elvis could be seen as a big cultural icon for music in the 50s.
Basic need is part of our daily life.
Basic names? You mean like first names? How do you mean that? They're a part of how we connect with people every day. Definitely. You need a name to address people.
Basic need. Basic need is important our daily life.
Right. Basic needs are critical for everyday life. Food, water, shelter, those things have to be there before anything else can really work. We've been talking about that a lot tonight, right?
Can social media make something popular?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Social media can catapult something into becoming really popular really quickly. If enough people start talking about it, sharing it, or using something, it can become a whole trend. That's how things become memes or go viral pretty easily now, right? Yep.
Can food respect?
hmm I think you said canned food is bad. Is that right? What were you thinking about? All right, make a rare.
Can food represent a country?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Food can be a huge part of a country's identity, like Italian food with pasta and pizza, Mexican food with tacos, or Japanese food with sushi. It can be a major symbol of a place's culture and history.
Does clothing show identify?
Definitely. What we wear often shows who we are or what groups we belong to. Uniforms show someone's job, brands can show what you like, and certain styles can even show where someone's from. Clothing carries all kinds of meaning about someone's identity, wouldn't you say?
Is water a basic need?
Water's definitely a basic need. Everyone needs clean water to survive, just like, food, shelter, all those things we were talking about earlier. So, yeah, it's super fundamental for everyday life.
Can simple things gain popularity?
I think you said 10 simple things gain popularity. Could you
Yes,
clarify what you mean by that?
yes.
Yeah, simple things do seem to get popular. What made you think about that?
Can simple things gain popularity?
Yes. Yeah. Simple things can totally become really popular. Sometimes it's just luck or timing, but other times it's because they fill a simple need that lots of people have. Think like the fidget spinner craze a few years ago. I'm still here if you want
Does
to chat more.
does security
What were you,
influencer
does sec-
culture?
Oh, I'm not sure I follow that. Does security cleanser culture? Could you rephrase that?
Does security influence and influencer? Does security
Mm,
influencer sec- culture?
are you asking, can security influencer? Sorry,
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
catching what you're
yes,
trying to say.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Got it.
Does security influencer culture?
You're asking, okay. You're thinking about how security impacts culture.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Security, feeling safe and protected, has a huge impact on culture. When people feel secure, they're more likely to express themselves, create art, explore new ideas. But when people are afraid, it can stifle creativity and make people more cautious. So, in that sense, security definitely influences culture one way or another. Anything else on your mind tonight?
Can we need become a trend?
Hmm, that's an interesting question. Can basic needs themselves become trends? Like people getting really into things like mindfulness or healthy eating. Maybe when something becomes really popular, that in itself can make people more aware of basic needs and their importance. Take your time, no rush.
Is fashion part of
Is fashion part of what?
is fashion part of
Is
basic need?
I think no, fashion isn't really a basic need like food, water, or shelter. Those are things we need to survive. Fashion is more about self expression or fitting in, which are nice to have, but not essential for life, like basic needs.
Basic need is American English, UK English.
Yes, basic needs have the same meaning in American and UK English. Essential things like food, shelter, water, and safety. The term doesn't really change between the two versions of English.
Basic need. What mean of basic need?
Mm. A basic need is something you absolutely have to survive: food, water, shelter, sleep. Also, things like connection and feeling safe. Without them, it's really hard to live a healthy life or focus on anything else.
Basic need are very important in our life.
You mean basic needs are very important in our life? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. They're like the foundation for everything. When those needs are taken care of, then everything else can work. Exactly right. Still there? Just checking in.
Basic need is meaningful.
Definitely. Basic needs being met is really meaningful. It means you're safe, you're healthy, and you have the energy to focus on other things in life. They give you a sense of security and stability, which are pretty important feelings.
Basic need word is used in all country.
Yeah, pretty much. All cultures talk about basic needs, even if the words are different. The concept of needing food, water, and shelter is pretty universal. So while the actual words might change in different languages, the idea is the same.
Basic need is called behavior.
Basic need is called behavior? I'm not sure what you mean. Are you talking about how people behave when they're trying to meet their basic needs? Like searching for food or water? That makes sense. Behavior is kind of how we act when we're trying to get what we need. Just here if you want to chat more.
Can a symbol present basic need?
So here we go. Symbol present before. I'm not sure what you meant there. Could you try saying that again? Maybe break it down into smaller parts?
Can a symbol present a basic need?
Yes, symbol. Oh, interesting. Yes, definitely. Symbols can represent basic needs, like a heart symbol can represent the need for connection and love. The image of food can symbolize that need for nourishment. Symbols can stand in for those really fundamental human needs, which is pretty powerful.
Do basic need remaining the same?
What about, I think you were trying to say, does it mean the same?
Do basic need remain the same?
Yeah, basically that does remain the same. The basic needs really are pretty consistent across different countries and cultures, even if things feel different on the surface.
All people say basic need.
You probably mean basic needs, not news. But yes, everyone talks about basic needs in some way, everywhere. They're important to all people in every part of the world.
Where basic need used?
Hmm. Used in conversation about lots of things, in government when they're setting policy, in school when teaching about health, in healthcare when talking about poverty, even in everyday life when people talk about what's important to them. It's a pretty universal concept that comes up a lot.
Teacher used basic need in school.
It's already used. Yes, absolutely. Schools definitely talk about basic needs, teaching kids about healthy eating, safe housing, and the importance of feeling secure. It's a pretty important topic for them to learn about.
Why teacher used basic need?
That's a good question. I use basic need because it's a really important part of life for everyone. It's about what we absolutely need to survive and thrive: food, shelter, safety, all that good stuff. It's fundamental to how we live, so comes up naturally in conversations a lot. Take your time.
Can basic need connect people?
Yeah, absolutely. Basic needs can totally connect people. Like when communities come together to help each other get food or shelter after a disaster, that's basic needs connecting everyone. Create bonds when people help each other survive and thrive. Make sense? Just stop here if you want to keep chatting.
Can something small become famous?
Definitely. Small things can totally become famous. Think about viral memes. Those start from something tiny. Or even things like fidget spinners or rubber ducks. They start small but get huge. It's pretty wild how things can blow up like that. Still here?
Basic need, basic need
Yes.
remain the same.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter where you are or what you do, the basic human needs are always the same: food, water, shelter, safety, connection. Those don't really change.
Do people
All right,
use?
sounds like
Do people use
do
basic
people
need? Do people use basic need?
do people use basic names? Like first names?
Basic,
Yeah,
no, no,
absolutely. Everyone uses
basic need, basic need.
No, no, no. Okay. Do people use the term basic needs?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. It's a pretty common phrase when people talk about the essentials of life.
Okay, my bye.
You're welcome. Bye.